There is a quiet assumption that follows you through every moment of your life, so deeply embedded that it rarely calls attention to itself. And it is the feeling that you are moving through time, moving through space, moving from one moment to another as your life unfolds in what seems like a continuous path. You wake up, you remember, you act, you anticipate, and everything appears to be progressing. And it feels as though something is carrying you forward, as though you are leaving behind what was and approaching what will be. But what if that sense of movement is not what it seems? What if, beneath the surface of your experience, nothing's actually going anywhere at all? Because when you look closely, you never truly experience movement itself. What you experience are changes, images shifting, sensations evolving, thoughts appearing and disappearing in a seamless flow. Movement as something independent is never directly perceived, it is inferred. It is a conclusion drawn by the mind as it connects one moment to another, building the impression of continuity. And yet that impression is so convincing that it feels undeniable, as if you are truly traveling from one point to another. But if that is the case, then a question quietly emerges. From where are you moving, and toward what destination? And if you attempt to locate the past, you will notice something unusual. You do not find the past itself, but only memory, a reconstruction, an image, a story appearing now as a representation of something you believe has already occurred. And when you turn toward the future, you do not encounter it either. You find anticipation, projections, expectations, possibilities that exist only as thoughts arising in the present. The past cannot be revisited, and the future cannot be entered. Both exist only as experiences happening now, within the same immediate field. So if the past is memory and the future is imagination, what remains is this, the present. And yet even this is difficult to grasp. The moment you try to hold it, it dissolves, becoming memory almost instantly, replaced by another moment that feels equally immediate. There is no fixed point you can isolate and call now. There is only a continuous unfolding, a seamless emergence that never pauses long enough to be captured. Still, you feel as though you are moving through it, as though something is advancing, carrying you forward. But what if that movement is not real in the way you believe it to be? What if you are not moving through time and time is not moving through you, but everything you have ever experienced has unfolded in the same place? Not a physical place, not a location in space, but a field of experience that does not move, does not travel, and does not change in the way everything within it appears to. Because no matter where you go, no matter what changes around you, no matter how much your life seems to transform, every experience occurs within the same awareness. You have never stepped outside of it, not even once. The world appears, disappears, shifts, and evolves, but the space in which all of this is known remains constant. It does not progress. It does not travel. It simply allows everything to appear. And this leads to a possibility that is difficult to ignore once it begins to take shape. That what you call your life is not a journey through reality, but a sequence of appearances within something that never moves at all. The sense of direction, of progress, of leaving one place and arriving at another may not belong to reality itself, but to the structure your mind imposes in order to make experience coherent. Without that structure, everything might appear as it truly is, not as movement from one point to another, but as a continuous arising within the same unchanging presence. If that is true, then something subtle but profound follows. You have never actually left where you are, not in the deepest sense. Every place you remember, every moment you recall, every experience you believe you have moved through has appeared within the same awareness. You did not travel to it. It emerged where you already are. The idea of movement may be part of the story, but not part of the fundamental reality of your experience. And so the question begins to shift, and it is no longer simply, where am I going, but something far more unsettling and difficult to answer. Have I ever moved at all? Or has everything I have ever known appeared in the same place, again and again, giving the impression of movement while remaining fundamentally still? Pause for a moment, not to search for an answer, but to observe something simple and immediate. Everything you are experiencing right now, every sensation, every thought, every perception is happening here. And no matter how far you imagine yourself to go, no matter how much you project yourself into the past or the future, you never leave it. So ask yourself quietly, without rushing to respond, without trying to resolve the question too quickly. If I have never left this, what is this really?